Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News. Let's not forget about Shinrin-yoku. And tonight, I'd like to have a discussion about what's happening in the world. Climate Change, the Facts, 2020. A new book has just come out. And a good friend of mine, Jennifer Morahasi, well, she has agreed to an interview Thursday, her time, Wednesday, my time. So that will be coming to you this weekend about some of the amazing challenges that she has been privy to in this last year as far as climate change and the fraud that is afoot. So we're going to be revealing some of the frauds this weekend after our discussion with Jennifer on Thursday. And those include the bleaching of the reefs, the fact that mainstream media is perpetuating the lie, and they are complicit, and they are actually disinforming the public. That's quite unfortunate. If you don't know, our backup channel is Magnetic Reversal News, and we need you to come over here and subscribe. It's our monetized unit. So any of the updates we've been giving, typically on Oppenheimer Ranch Project, will be over here at Magnetic Reversal News, including Grand Solar Minimum Much, Blackhead Peak Trail, Wilderness Adventures, the Crestone Ziggurat. These are all recent updates in the last 24 hours. So I'm sure you'll be impressed by our repertoire over here at Magnetic Reversal News if you like Oppenheimer Ranch. Now, if you're looking for a way to heal yourself because you have hypertension, because you're stressed out, because you have insomnia, you can't sleep, and you don't know what's going on, because the world is just too chaotic, I can't implore you enough to subscribe to our new channel, Shinrin-yoku. It's been up just a few weeks. We have over 1,000 subscribers. I think there's about 8 videos up there now. And just start from the beginning and work your way through. It's going to take you through some forest bathing. It's going to discuss the actual science, the peer-reviewed science about the phytonicides, which are actually healing you in the forests, if you're in the right forest. But not only that, it will connect you back to nature. Many of us have lost our connection to nature, which is the key to a healthful, harmonious life. Now, I'm not being facetious or name blaming or whatever you want to call it. If you live in an inner city, now look, I lived in Philadelphia for 4 decades. And I knew some of the most pristine places I could get to, which looked just like the header here. In the middle of the city, I could drive just 6 miles outside and be in Fairmount Park in a place where no one was. And you can do the same all over the world. There are forests everywhere, including the desert. You just have to go up high enough. And you're looking for pine trees and oaks specifically. And then watch the full repertoire of our videos. It's only 5 or 6 videos. And they're all 10 minutes each. It'll take you less than an hour to consume the entire channel. And I implore you to go there because it will be the beginning of your realization of the problems in your life. If you haven't been regularly visiting the forest and you're sick or you're on pharmaceuticals, this may be the problem. In fact, it is. But I'm not going to make any claims currently. I just want you to experience it for yourself. Forest bathing and forest healing is real, it's free, and it's available to you now. Go get it. Now, let's talk about some of my friends. Giles from solarminimum.net removed his channel from YouTube because of the censorship issues in his continent, Australia. And I can agree with him 100%. But we can all support him by going over to his website, which is still under construction after several years, at solarminimum.net. But it's not under construction. There is so much information and links here that you can click on it all, and you can literally get an undergraduate education in space science. And you can start to understand what we have all been looking at and what is happening on the planet and why we need to be prepared. And if you want practical skills about preparedness, please come support my friend Greg Allison over at Green's Greg's. He's had a very difficult year, as many of you have in 2020. And we need to support the community more than ever. And we're not talking about the people that are instilling fear in the masses. We're talking about the people that are providing solutions. And I'll leave it at that. Green's Greg is the #1 provider of solutions in the face of adversity. If you want to know about some of the current ongoing issues in world politics, he provides it here, as well as walking through the garden, telling you how to raise plants that could potentially save your life. And I've only met him in person just briefly. But Greg Allison is like a brother to me. And I'll leave it at that. Now, another feel-good story that I want to leave you with is that this is happening this month. A North Dakota farmer, well, he was out harvesting his crops in September, and his columbine lit on fire. And he went out to put the fire out. And during that firefighting episode, he had a heart attack. And neighbors had come to help. And so they got him on an ambulance, and he got to safety quickly. And then the whole community stepped up. 29 different families brought dozens of columbines and other harvesting equipment to harvest over 1,000 acres of his farm while he sat in the hospital. Because if it wasn't harvested, it would be lost. Hundreds of acres of canola and hundreds of acres of bread wheat were harvested in time for the family and put in their silos. And then the community stepped up by preparing hundreds, if not thousands, of meals for this family because of the need. It's these types of activities that give me hope for the future. This is how our earth should be working. It should not be controlled by multinational corporations, which are basically keeping all of us in slavery. Obamacare has failed. My partner Leah has to pay almost $5,000 or $7,000 annually now just to get the health care that she needs. How is that insurance? To me, that's called, well, debt. There is not a single person that I know that I consider a friend across this world that makes enough money to pay $7,000 a year for health insurance. No one. No one. In fact, $7,000 a year would be 1/3 of the entire cacophony of the money that they raise, which would price them out of an apartment, food. No one can live in this world on the money we're being paid. If you cannot see through that fact, then I cannot help you see. But many of you understand what I'm saying. There is no way to rent a place to live, pay health insurance, and buy food for you to survive if you do not make more than $30 an hour. And 80% of the population makes less than that. That means 80% of 8 billion people are starving. And that is not a planet I want to live on. And this includes every single continent and country worldwide. It's disgusting. Since I was a child, it's never been like this. It's only gotten worse, while the mainstream media purports that we're getting better and better. If there's one thing I think we should fight against before government, it would be the media. We need to take them out first and follow up with the crony capitalistic coffers of the elitists. And those that don't think we're coming for them, the people in power, well, they're living on a wing and a prayer. Because just like 1776, when we declared our independence, every 200 years, this same cycle occurs. And 1976 was our bicentennial. And the time, well, it's long overdue for our next revolution. And it's coming soon. And it's going to be driven by people like the North Dakota farmers that harvested 1,000 acres of a neighbor's crop in just 7 hours. Hours of powers, of love and humanity, which I haven't seen for decades. And this is giving me hope. Now, we may be censored, demonetized, demonized, and dehumanized by the mainstream, like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook on a daily basis. But this does not affect my objective situation. My power to love people, my power to deliver this message, it cannot be minimized. I mean, folks, this is coming from my heart. I know you can feel it. Love is the solution. And we need to all tap into our coffers and understand that almost everything we've been fed for the last 7 months has been to divide us, to instill fear porn, and hatred in humanity. And yet, people in rural areas like where I live and in North Dakota know how to step up and step over the doo-doo because they wear muck boots, just like I do. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance when you're living in a shit show and you have to wade through it. Share this with like-minded people. Continue on the mission of humanity. Learn how to grow food. Learn how to share with neighbors. Learn how to do things to help others without expecting anything in return. And your life will grow in abundance. Trust me, that's what I did. And every day I can feel the power of the community that we're building. I can feel it. I can feel it now. I can feel the energy. Together, we will survive and thrive. And we will shut down these lunatics. Be safe. We love you. And that's a boom. Breathe. Repeat. Love.